Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to showcase you Diancie. Diancie was introduced last year during GoFest, and now it's also introduced through a special research. So if you didn't have it yet, you could now get a Diancie. It's a rock and fairy type Pokemon, very similar to Carbink, but way less bulk. Some things you want to know about Diancie: it has way less bulk than Carbink. It's a very fragile Pokemon, and it has only about 85 HP average, which is super low. That even means that Dragon Breath and Lock-on still do like significant damage on Diancie, and that's kind of unfortunate. The moveset on Diancie that you want to run is Rock Throw as the fast attack. The other one's Tackle. It's not the same type of attack bonus. You don't want to run that on Diancie in this case. Maybe on Carbink, but not this Pokemon. And then as a charge attack, you have Rock Slide. It's one of its most efficient and also the cheapest charge attack that it has. And your secondary could be Moonblast for coverage against like fighting types and dragon types should you need that. And also there's Power Gem, but you don't want that. That's a pretty not efficient charge stack, and it's also expensive. The last thing about Diancie is that it also has a Mega form, which helps getting XL Candy for Rock and Fairy type Pokemon, so definitely want to look into that as well if you have enough Mega Energy to, get that Mega level up of it. This is the team that I was running with Diancie. Basically, it's like 50-50 against Lantern. I have 2 Mud Pokemon and Giratina to cover it. But then I also have Poliwrath, Diancie, and Mandibuzz that are not great against it. Diancie actually has some surprising matchups, though. You can actually win the Zero Shoots against Lantern if they are not like very high stat distribution. Most of them are, though, so maybe that doesn't do as much. I actually really like a Giratina Diancie core. It's just really the Lickitung that kind of core based stat, but I do have Poliwrath and Mandibuzz, which also on its own is a strong core as long as I cover the Lantern quite well and fairy types if there's any. So yeah, let's head into these battles. The first matchup that I have is against 010 DSN. Played him in a previous local as well. This time he's changed the Whimsicott, he changed the Mantine, and he changed the Alolan Sandslash. Diancie looks bad here, but I know my opponents really liked Dugong and Mandibuzz, so if I can get Diancie on one of those, it could actually be pretty good. In general, I like Giratina here as well, but again, because he has Mandibuzz, I don't feel too confident with it. Let's see what he brings. Poliwrath into Dugong. Tremendous lead for me. Let's see what he swaps in. I expect the Mandibuzz honestly to come in. I didn't bring the Diancie yet for the first game. I really wish I did. Now I was very much contemplating to lead it. But yeah, I think he like misstepped because now I was able to throw the Ice Beam before his first Aerial Ace. That first Aerial Ace would have been very useful for him. Now he has to throw all this debuffed energy into the Clodsire. I'm gonna skip a little bit through that because this is a very monotone matchup. It's basically me throwing Stone Edge, him throwing Dark Pulses up until the very last end. But because my energy management is perfect here, I will be able to, like, look at this. Perfect. I will be able to get to another Stone Edge on the Dugong. I'm not sure if I will get to 2 though, but that will be very useful because 2 should knock out the Dugong. Let's see, that's the first Stone Edge. Yeah, the next one should knock out if I were able to get there. The next one might knock out. I think I got the damage registration area. Very lucky and unfortunate for my opponent. He has to shield it now. Yes, it was damage registration area. In the back is Cresselia. I have Giratina. This is a so-so matchup actually when shields are up. Moonblast doesn't knock out the Giratina just yet, but with shields up and if Cresselia is up in energy, it will actually be able to outpace to Moonblast if I were to go straight Shadow Ball. As the Giratina, you kind of want to, in the 2-shoot, you might want to go for at least 1 Ominous Wind, but it could be risky as well. I mean, otherwise you still get solid ghost damage output. I'm 1-shoot up here though, so I can go straight Shadow Ball, and in that case it's kind of over any top lefts. Unfortunately, there are a lot of polarizing matchups in this particular matchup. The one thing though that can be said for sure is that my only real answer to Mandibuzz is that Diancie, but it's so difficult to bring. Let's see what I lead here. Shadow Swampert into Mandibuzz. I have Diancie in the back now, so I really hate to see this here. It might be something like Wishcash, could be Lantern, could be... it's unlikely to be Dugong, but it's possible. I'm going to catch this on the Clodsire, can take damage much better here. I definitely expect the Cresselia though, so I'm really hoping he will bring it in here, but he brings in his own Clodsire, and with that Dark Pulse damage, I might actually almost be in Earthquake range already, so this is kind of rough. This is kind of rough now. Earthquake lands. Takes a while for him to get to an Earthquake. I have Hydro Cannon stored on my Swampert as well, so right now I'm thinking, okay, if it is that Cresselia in the back, I think I want to keep my Clodsire, because Clodsire is my best answer to the Cresselia at this point, simply because it has Moonblast and no Future Sight. So it will have to throw Grass Knot, so I'm going to throw this. This Earthquake would knock me out, I think, barely. I'm gonna swap out now. He's still locked in for a little bit. I farm more energy, then go for the Hydro Cannon. This would knock out the Clodsire if no shielded. And then I have to see if he swaps or not. He does swap. I'm going to throw the Hydro into the Mandibus right away. I believe he now has the Dark Pulse. But 2 won't knock out just yet, so I'm going to farm some more energy. This Dark Pulse will do a lot though. Swampert is very fragile. It's really unfortunate for Swampert that this Mandibus is just tanky enough. That makes Mandibus very good into Swampert as well. You can take 2 Hydro, and the next one will knock out, but this is not optimal, honestly. If it's Cresselia on the back, even Clodsire could farm me down at this point, and Clodsire's energy, I can take this nowhere. That's going through my mind right now. I'm like, okay, if Clodsire comes back in, I have to KO it right away. I kind of forgot the health of it right now. I'm going to go into the Clodsire immediately. I cannot allow this to have too much energy. I will farm up more here, and the reason why is because if his Clodsire comes in, I want him to... I want him to throw. Or I want to outpace him. That's what I want. So, in comes the Clodsire. I think Stone Edge would have knocked out, but honestly, I forgot the health on it. And yeah, then the Cresselia comes back and I will be able to get to an Earthquake. But he will be able to get to 2 Grass Knot on my Diancie. That will knock me out, so I have to make a catch on later. That is my win condition at this point in this battle here. He has to throw. Otherwise, I would get to another Earthquake. Honestly, he didn't need to throw per se. He would live another Earthquake, but at this point, he didn't know yet that it was going to be the Diancie in the back. I think he's very afraid of Giratina here. I'm going to go into my Diancie. I don't catch the first Grass Knot. It was probably my best opportunity to catch, but he's throwing at a very random time. This does so much damage, so much more on the Carbink, and I feel the catch here. He told me afterwards I was 1 off, so I miscounted by 1, unfortunately. And then he said he wouldn't have thrown anyway, so maybe that didn't matter at all. He takes game number 2. Diancie didn't do anything there. Game number 3, I'm going to try my luck again. I lead my Diancie into Cresselia. Terrible. But I have Polaright in the back, so it's not the worst here. I'm going to just stay in here. This is a soft ABA, basically. I don't have the hardest loss here, but we've seen earlier that a Grass Knot does so much damage. I'm not too fond of it. I'm actually going for Moonblast here. This might not be the best play, because you'll see that the Cresselia is actually able to farm me down. The reason why is because Diancie has an incredibly low HP stat. If I went for double rocks, I could have gone to double rock slide here. Actually, would have been way more optimal. Maybe I could have then easily have more... have it easier to farm down that Cresselia. Now he swaps into the Dugong, which is pretty good against my Giratina. I already know it's going to be Mandibus in the back. I think at this point, I'm going to try to call Icy Wind. It's a drill run, and this is going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, because he's going to get me so low. This is going to be an obvious Icy Wind. And then I get the farm, but I'm way too low. Cresselia isn't even in Scald range, or at least not debuffed Scald range, so yeah, it's kind of tough. I don't think I can even farm down. So, yeah, at this point, I get the Charge Secretary on the Icy Wind. And now I get the shield, but Mandibus in the back just has way too much HP. And that's kind of rough. Let's see. Mandibus comes in, but I'm in area 8 range. I don't really see a win condition here. I don't see a win condition there, really, because the Giratina in the back is just way too low. Doesn't have... I don't have Dragon Pulse, and even then, the Dragon Pulse would not knock out, so that's going to be game over. And I lose the first round. Diancie just not being allied to Mandibus there, so kind of tough. He played ABB against Mandibus, and yeah, tough one. My next matchup is against the 2-time regional champion, Colin. A very good opponent, and he's running the team that Emmy Weedle used to win the Europe International Championship. My Diancie actually looks quite good here. Very good against the Skeledirge, very good against Altaria, and is fine as a Rock Fairy type against Vigoroth. So I'm definitely going to try and see if I can get some good content with it here. Let's see. But other than that, the Alone Sash looks very difficult. I actually call the lead here. Let's see what he swaps into. Swaps into the Cresselia. Beautiful. I have the Mandibus. Now, he does have Moonblast. That's why he's so... he feels so safe with this swap here. 2 Moonblasts don't knock out yet, but it will get very close. To knock it out. It's gonna go for the Dark Pulse right here. I can overfarm a little bit, and then I can even get some chip damage on that Altaria. Let's see, he's gonna go for the Moonblast right here. This is still on knockout. I'm still in the green, so this will put me like in the lower red. He would not be able to farm me down as well, so there's like no risk in notion here. But he gets the drop. This is actually going to be huge for the end game later. Dark Pulse coming through. I have to throw my arrows immediately now, otherwise he will throw the Grass Knots and force a shield for me. So I have to throw now, which is super unfortunate. Because if I actually shield there, the Alona Sanchez in the back would have a shield advantage and probably win the battle. In comes Alona Sanchez swapping the Clodsire. He has Shadow Claw, so Clodsire is slightly better here, which is very nice. The problem here is, though, in the 2 shields, Colossary will win all even shields. So I can just go straight Stone Edge with Mud Shield here. The problem is that the timer will be up at that time. And if he like keeps a move and then go into the Altaria, so I'm forced to swap to my Diancie, this could get very tricky. So I'm actually very inclined to just let Colossary go, farm this all the way down with Diancie, and then double Rock Slide or even get Fire Moonblast on that Altaria. So that's what I'm going to do. Since I have higher attack here, I can actually just farm this down with the Diancie. But Diancie has super low HP though. The Dragon Breath from Altaria are actually going to add up more than you think. He has 2 Ice Punch there. I will double shield. That's fine. He has to get to a whole Moonblast. I think he needs like 8 seconds or something to get there. Yeah, it's actually going to get really close now. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here. I don't know the ranges at all of Altaria here. So I don't know if he would take this or not. I'm gonna go for another Rock Slide here. Let's see if this will knock out. I kind of need it to. If he gets some Moonblast, this would... Oh my, he barely hangs on actually. I'm pretty confident this is a Sky attack. I didn't count 20 Dragon Breaths. But it's a Moonblast and he takes me out. Very well played, what can I say? I led my Diancie into the Altaria and he still got it. Maybe I did need to shield the Clotsire twice. I don't know. Let's try again. Game number 2 against Colin. I lead Poliwrath into Lantern. Man. This goes from a great lead to a terrible one. I'm going to go into Clotsire. He answers with Shadow Claw alone sensors. I see potential here. Like I said earlier, Clotsire can win this matchup in even shoes. I'm just going to go straight Stone Edge here. Since I have Mud Shield, my fast attacks are adding up, and Stone Edge already does quite a lot on this fragile Pokemon. He does have Power Snow, so his fast attacks don't really add up as much. And then Ice Punch is super effective, but won't do as much damage. It's not threatening that he can farm me down at this point. One Stones will knock him out, but he needs 2 charge attacks, and that means I will outpace him. I can flip switch advantage here. I will flip switch advantage here. But if it's Altaria on the back, I'm in trouble. I'm very much in trouble. It's actually a pretty risky line by him. If I let my Swampert there, he would have been in trouble. But I guess Swampert is much worse against Lantern than Wishcash is, so I guess it's an okay ABA strategy. Let's see what he brings in. He brings in Vigoroth. Well, this is just perfect. Switch advantage was so important here. Because if I had my Giratina on this Vigoroth, it would have been over. I get to another Earthquake. That's huge. Now I can align the Poliwrath here. He swaps into the Lantern right away. I have my Giratina. I'm a little bit kind of spooked out here simply because if he gets the Fardown on the Vigoroth, can he get to 3 charge attacks on my Poliwrath? Because I believe that will knock out my Poliwrath. I believe he almost has 2 Body Slam at this point. Or he has 2 Body Slam at this point. But Giratina is just such a fine matchup here. I don't even have to throw at this point. Even if he were to knock me out, that's probably what he does want, because what he wants at this point is to get more energy. The Stun Ball won't knock out just yet. Then I should be able to farm down, even Shadow Ball that Vigoroth. And it should be fine. Now I think 1 counter will almost knock him out. Shadow Ball double resisted. Usually doesn't do as much. And it doesn't right here. Actually does more than I thought it would. Trying to get an Ominous Wind. Won't be able to, but 1 counter knocks him out and he knows it. He doesn't throw. So, great. I flip switch advantage with the Clotsire. Clotsire is just super strong against Colosteen here. Alright, decisive game number 3. I lead my Clotsire into Cresselia. I'm going to give Diancie 1 more chance here. My strategy is very simple. Win the lead, RPS in the back. However, if he has Lantern in the back with this, it's kind of difficult. I don't expect Lantern though, because if he leads Cresselia with Lantern in the back, he would be terrible against Giratina Origin, which I have brought before now. So I'm going to try to go for switch advantage here. Clotsire should win the even shields here, but it's a very neutral matchup here. I'm so bulky here, and Clotsire with these attacks is just so good here. But you'll find out that I actually oversee something here. With Future Sight is obviously not that great for Clotsire, because then he knocks me out in 2 charge attacks. Now he's like 4. The Psycho Cuts are super effective. And after this Grass Knot, I think I would lose charge already here. He can actually farm me down, which is terrible. I barely will not be able to get to another Stone Edge here. If he shields this, he has switch advantage, which is terrible. Also, Alone Ascension in the back would be kind of scary. And he barely farms me down. I don't get to my next Stone Edge. This is horrible. So I'm going to go into the Mandibus to farm him down. And then see what's in the back. If it's Alone Ascension in the back, I can live with that. But if it's Altaria in the back, man, I would have really loved to have my Diancie on that. I don't know if that would matter though, because let's say I shielded and he didn't shield, he would have shield advantage for the Alone Ascent Slash. Then it would have been terrible as well, because Alone Ascent Slash would sweep my backline here. In comes Altaria going to Diancie. He has the Alone Ascent Slash. Now I have higher attack than Carbink does. Can I rock throw this down? Here's the thing though. Carbink could take a drill run. I'm almost already at half HP, so kind of tough here. He's actually at 2 Ice Punches now, so I know at this point I lost the game. I'm gonna hope that after this Rock Throw that sneaks through, I win Charge Security, and that this will knock out, because a shield actually takes away 1 HP. But it's not enough, so I lose the battle. I go. Unfortunately, I lost. I won 2 battles with this team, but it was not because of Diancie. Diancie didn't do a lot. I couldn't get the right alignment with it. It was a very tough Pokemon to use. So that was my run with Diancie. I must say I was not impressed with his matchups. Obviously, I didn't get it into the matchups that I wanted it to, but also like even after locking it into an Altaria, it still, you know, got knocked out by 1 Moonblast. That was very disappointing. That was very deflating because I felt like that was the one matchup that I could win. Unfortunately, the third matchup, I don't have one because I got a bye. Yes, I was quite bad. And unfortunately, I mean, that still meant I was 5th in the group, by the way, even though I lost both rounds. Anyway, stay tuned for my next video because then I'll show you Carbink, and that one's actually significantly better. See you in the next video.